Looking for easy Korean recipes you will actually make again? From refreshing side dishes to comforting classics, here are 6 easy Korean recipes I love making at home. Let's get started. Let's start with the Korean spicy noodles, Bibim Guksu. They are sweet, tangy, spicy, and incredibly satisfying. First, let's make the sauce. In a bowl, combine 1½ tablespoons soy sauce, 1½ tablespoons vinegar, 1 tablespoon maple syrup, 1 tablespoon sugar, 1 tablespoon sesame oil, 1 tablespoon gochugaru, 1 tablespoon gochujang, 1 teaspoon minced garlic, and 3 tablespoons pear juice or apple juice. Mix everything well until combined. The sauce should be slightly loose and moist rather than too thick. This helps it coat the noodles evenly. Julienne a little cucumber for topping. You can also use a lettuce if you prefer. Cut the boiled egg in half and set it aside. For extra flavor, lightly crush some toasted sesame seeds. We'll sprinkle them on at the end. Now let's cook the noodles. Bring a pot of water to a boil and add 1 teaspoon of salt. Add the somen noodles and cook for about 3½ minutes. When the water starts to boil over, add a little cold water. When it comes back to a boil, add a little cold water once more. Once the noodles are cooked, rinse them several times under cold running water and drain well. This removes excess starch and gives the noodles a chewier texture. Add the noodles to the prepared sauce and toss until evenly coated. Transfer them to a serving bowl and top with the cucumber and boiled egg. Finish with a generous sprinkle of crushed sesame seeds. It's simple, flavorful, and always satisfying. Next is a light and refreshing Korean side dish, cabbage water kimchi. This cabbage water kimchi is crisp, light, and surprisingly easy to make. First, add 2 tablespoons of salt to 10 cups of water and stir until completely dissolved. This ratio creates a perfectly balanced brine for water kimchi. Cut the cabbage into small bite-sized pieces. As it ferments, the cabbage becomes even crispier and adds a refreshing flavor to the broth. Wash the cabbage thoroughly and drain well. Then place it in a large mixing bowl. Next, thinly slice the radish into pieces similar in size to the cabbage. For natural sweetness, a fresh fruity flavor, peel and slice 1 pear. If you don't have a pear, you can use an apple instead. Cut half of a red bell pepper into small pieces. Cut half of yellow bell pepper into similar sized pieces. The bell peppers add a beautiful color and extra crunchy to the kimchi. Cut 5 scallions into small pieces. Thinly slice 6 cloves of garlic. Slice a small piece of ginger as well. Place all the prepared ingredients into a large container and mix them well. Pour the prepared salt water over the vegetables. For today's recipe, I use a total of 10 cups of water. It really is that simple. No flour paste, no sugar, no need to salt the cabbage. With just a few simple ingredients, you can make a delicious and refreshing water kimchi. Transfer everything to a container, cover it with a lid, and leave it at room temperature for about 1 day to begin fermentation. Once it develops a light tangy flavor, place it in the refrigerator and serve chilled. It tastes great after 1 or 2 days in the refrigerator. It's a refreshing side dish you will want to make again and again. Now let's make something warm and comforting. This simple Korean chicken soup has a clean, comforting flavor. With just a few ingredients, you can make a simple and comforting meal. Today, instead of using a whole chicken, we will use bone-in, skin-on chicken thighs to make an easy and delicious Dakgomtang. Wash the chicken thoroughly before you begin. The bones make the broth rich and flavorful. Place the chicken in a large pot. Make a small cut in the root end of the onion. Cut the green onions into large pieces. The onion and green onions give the broth a natural sweetness and aroma. Pour in about 10 cups of water and bring it to a boil over high heat. Once it starts boiling, reduce the heat to medium and simmer for about 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, the broth will be rich, clean, and full of flavor. Remove the onion and green onions. Then skim off any excess fat from the surface. Cut the chicken into bite-sized pieces. You can shred it by hand or use scissors if that's easier. Add the minced garlic and the mung bean sprouts, then cook for about 2 minutes. If you like, add the garlic chives as well. They pair wonderfully with the chicken. The mung bean sprouts add a nice crunch texture, while the garlic chives add a fresh aroma. Add a half tablespoon of salt. If you like a little more savory flavor, add 1 teaspoon of chicken stock powder. You can also use a little fish sauce instead. Finally, adjust the seasoning with more salt if needed. Cook for about 1 more minute, and your light comparing Dakgomtang is done. Serve it with warm rice or noodles. Then later, the soup generously over the top. It's especially delicious with the kimchi, which pairs perfectly with a clean savory broth. It's simple, nourishing, and perfect anytime you need a comforting meal. Next, let's make one of Korea's most popular highway rest stop snacks. They are sweet, salty, buttery, and so hard to stop eating once you start. First, wash the baby potatoes well. Cut the potatoes in half. Cutting them in half helps the sweet and salty flavor soak in better and cook faster. Add the potatoes to a pot. Pour in 1 cup of water, then add 1 teaspoon salt and 2 tablespoons sugar. As the potatoes cook, the sweet and salty flavor gently soaks into them, creating that classic Korean rest stop potato taste. Cover with a lid and cook over medium-high heat. Once most of the water has cooked down, transfer the potatoes to a pan. Add about 2 tablespoons of butter and slowly cook over medium-low heat. Once the buttery aroma fills the pan, it really starts to feel like a Korean highway rest stop snack. Cook until all sides are nicely golden brown. Finally, sprinkle a little parsley on top and it's done. The outside is lightly chewy and the inside is soft and fluffy, making them incredibly hard to resist. At Korean highway rest stops, they are often served in paper cups for an easy snack on the go. Next, let's make a fresh Korean side dish with the tomatoes. They are surprisingly delicious with the Korean seasoning. Cut the tomatoes into bite-sized pieces. I recommend using firm tomatoes rather than very ripe ones. Cut the onion into small pieces. Cut the garlic chives into short pieces as well. If you don't have garlic chives, green onions work just as well. Now let's make the seasoning. Add 2 tablespoons of gochugaru, 2 tablespoons of fish sauce, 1 tablespoon of minced garlic, 1 tablespoon of honey or sugar, and 1 tablespoon of sesame seeds. Gently toss everything together so the tomatoes keep their shape. It's fresh, crisp, and so good. Leave it at room temperature for about half a day, then refrigerate it. This is what it looks like after 1 day. The sweet tomatoes and Korean seasonings are a delicious combination. Finally, let's make a spicy version of one of Korea's most loved noodle dishes. It's packed with vegetables and bold, savory flavor. First, soak sweet potato noodles in warm water for about 30 minutes. While the noodles are soaking, let's make the sauce. In a bowl, combine 3 tablespoons of soy sauce, 1 tablespoon oyster sauce, 1 tablespoon sugar, 2 tablespoons corn syrup, half a tablespoon minced garlic, 1 tablespoon gochugaru, 1 tablespoon gochujang, 2 tablespoons mirin, and a little black pepper. Slice half an onion into medium thin strips. Julienne 1/4 of a carrot. Cut 1 or 2 fish cake pieces into thin strips. Prepare a handful or 2 of spinach for freshness and color. Pour 2 cups of water into a pan. Add the sauce and bring it to a boil. Once the sauce starts bubbling, add the soaked noodles. Then add the onion, carrot, and fish cake. Cook over medium-high heat, stirring occasionally. Continue cooking until most of the liquid has reduced and only a small amount remains in the pan. Now add the spinach. Mix it gently for about 30 seconds. Turn off the heat and add 1 tablespoon of sesame oil. Give everything a good mix. Finish with a generous sprinkle of sesame seeds. The combination of the sweet and spicy sauce with the chewy noodles is absolutely delicious. I hope you enjoy trying these easy Korean recipes at home. Let me know in the comments which one you'd like to try first. Thanks so much for watching. See you in the next recipe.